Hey y'all, I just wanted to come on here and try to give a little bit of enlightenment when it comes to the whole self-concept process and understanding the everyone is you pushed out, but the in the way of showing the effects of how we get treated based on our belief system that we have set up for us. It's like, I know that there have been certain situations where women can go out with a guy and he doesn't treat them the best, or they don't get the commitment, and then they're like, oh my god, well, he, we broke up and he just met this chick and he hasn't even been with her that long, and now I hear that they're getting married. Why is that? Why was he able to commit to her and offer her a commitment, but he didn't offer that to me? And the short version of that is, or the short explanation for that is, that woman did not have the same kind of hang-ups that you did, and therefore, in her reality, based off of her belief system, she was able to project a certain version of a woman that he then showed back to her from her projection. Because if everyone is us pushed out, we all are shown through people in our 3D what is really going on inside of us. And so for that person, because she didn't have the hang-ups that you had, she presented herself in a different kind of way, which changed the version of the man that he was with her. He was not the same man with her that he was with you. Now I'm going to try to, I wrote it down because I always tend to get interrupted in some kind of way or lose my train of thought. So y'all just stay with me and let me know if you actually understand the way that I wrote this, okay? And this is, I hope I can read my writing because I wrote it down real sloppy, real fast, just so I could keep it as it was coming in my mind. But this is, trying to understand everyone as you pushed out, and why did he commit or marry her and not you? So we all create our own reality, okay? And each person creates their own reality, all right? You create your own reality, I create my own reality. So say like if there's a bunch of bubbles, like remember those things you used to dip and go when you blow the bubbles, okay? So pretend that each one of those bubbles represents a different world, and in each one of those worlds is a different version of you. You live in each one of those bubbles or worlds, okay? Simultaneously, all at the same time, okay? And everyone that is in your world now is also in all those other bubbles, or in all those other worlds, okay? And so in one bubble, you have hang-ups about relationships based off of a bad childhood, out of being neglected and abandoned, and say in the other bubble as well, you have same thing, you have hang-ups about, from based on your childhood, and you keep on meeting guys who neglect you in some kind of way, and because of all of your abandonment issues that you have. So All right. So that version of you that has the belief that all guys are the same and they will all treat you poorly and will one day leave you because nothing good lasts forever. Say you have this belief in all the bubbles, okay? And you believe that you only attract men who will treat you poorly because inside you feel poorly about yourself. There's something in you that is broken, no matter what kind of face you try to put on, and say, oh, I'm this or I'm that. You might start off that way, but then after you get in a relationship, the true way of what you believe about yourself or how you feel about yourself, it changes because it's projected in the way that the men treat you. And if you have a history where men have started off treating you good and then something changes and they end up treating you bad and they leave you, well, you're the common denominator in all of those situations, okay? So it's something in you that you start to go and start living based off of that belief system of you not being valuable, not being worthy. You know that guys are going to end up leaving you. So say in the other bubble, okay, you have the same belief system that you do in the first one, that men will treat you poorly and leave you. But what happens is in the other bubble, you begin to change how you believe about yourself, and you begin to see yourself as someone who has the best relationships with men, and you only attract men who treat you kindly and commit to you. So in that bubble, you end up meeting a man who you like, and in a short time after meeting them, he begins to treat you poorly because something clicks and you begin to project based off of an old belief system that caused you to feel like you weren't worthy, and you're looking for things like, oh, at some point in time I'm guessing that I know what's going to happen. He's going to end up leaving me. He's going to find something wrong with me, some kind of fault or whatever. That old programming starts to take effect, and you start to not feel good about yourself. You recognize all of this about yourself, but this is in the other bubble, okay, the second bubble. And when you notice how he starts to treat you poorly, you stop and you start to envision, go in your imagination, you start to envision him treating you good, and you begin telling yourself, no, like, I'm the kind of person who gets treated good by men and they all want to commit to me. And whenever this man starts to treat you poorly in the other bubble, in the other world, you don't argue with him. You just immediately stop, when he starts, and you just go inside yourself and you start to say, you imagine something differently. You imagine him, how you want to be treated by him. And this man, you see him treating you differently, talking to you differently, treating you kind, and treating you better. And you start to see that it also feels good. You recognize how it makes you feel as you're imagining all of this, and then outwardly you start saying, even inside your head when you imagine it, you start saying, I am so glad that he treats me kindly and with respect, because he knows that I deserve nothing less, and I'm the kind of person that men deal kindly with. I'm the kind of person who always gets the guy to own up and commit to me. I'm the kind of person who guys love to be around. I'm so easy to love, and guys love staying with me, and they always want to commit to me. They never want to leave me. So as time goes on, you keep on doing this. Each time the guy ends up treating you poorly. And you notice after a while how you really start to believe what you're telling yourself. Because at first when you're saying this stuff to yourself about how good you are, you know it, but in your mind you don't believe it. And that's why the man, the self-projection that goes out is how the man treats you back. You start to see it. He's not treating you well, but over time you really start to get this feeling of empowerment, like, yeah, like, no, I really am a good person and I deserve nothing but the best treatment when it comes to guys, and I am so valuable and I'm very confident in myself. I have very high self-esteem. I always treat people well, and the men in my life adore me. They treat me good. They are always so loving and kind to me. And you slowly start to see this man's behavior changing, and it's because your belief system is starting to change, and now it's starting to sink into your subconscious mind. And at first there's going to be that resistance there where you'll see this man treating you poorly, because that's showing you outwardly, if it's a trigger for you, that you still have that belief system going on in your subconscious mind. But the more you reiterate to yourself the kind of person that you are and how you start to go inside and you see this person treating you differently, that old default programming is getting washed away and it'll start to change, and you're putting a new belief system in place. It's like taking a hard drive out of a computer and wiping it clean. You're totally getting rid of the programming that was there, and you go back and you reprogram it for something new, like maybe an updated version of what you want that system to run on. And every now and then there might be a glitch in the system, and you just go in and you fix it. And so those glitches in your life are those times where the man is treating you good, but then all of a sudden he treats you poorly. That's a glitch in the system. That's a trigger that's showing you there's still a little bit of something there that you need to take care of. So you need to go back into your mind and tell yourself, no, I always get treated kindly. I get treated with the utmost respect because he adores me. He shows me in, the way that he talks to me, and he's so kind with my emotions and feelings. He's very understanding towards me. Because this is the version of you that has changed in the other bubble. But in the bubble where you are still being treated poorly, it's because you have not changed your belief system or your self-concept that you have about yourself. And so you continue to get mirrored back to you the negative behavior from guys, and they treat you bad, they talk to you poorly, talk down to you, and then they end up leaving you, and you don't understand why, what's going on. So the other version of you, like I said, in the other bubble, that version of you has changed, and even old boyfriends or whatever, they may come back into your life because of the things that you have been doing, the work that you've been doing on yourself, and they all want to commit to you. And all the guys that you end up coming in contact with now, they all want to date you. They all, talk about how they want to wife you up and treating you so good. And it's because you have changed who you are. You're not allowing yourself to live by that old system of feeling bad about yourself because you were abandoned or had, issues of abandonment when you were young. So when you look at the version of you that is still operating by those poor belief systems, and that guy leaves you for that woman and he ends up marrying her, it's because she had a different type of belief system that she lived by, which became projected in the man that she started to deal with, which was your old boyfriend. She wasn't held back or bound by negative self-concepts or poor self-image, where guys treated her bad and always left her. So as soon as he got with her, because of the image that she was projecting about being a person of high value, high standard, always getting treated well, a natural belief system that she had about herself, he acted accordingly. He, saw that, and that was projected back to her, that good stuff that she felt about guys. Guys are good, guys are understanding. She didn't have that negative concept even about guys, and so she was even able to project onto him good behaviors that she likes in a guy. And you in this bubble, in this world, are looking at him with amazement, like he used to do this, this, and this, but he's not doing that with her because she is projecting something different, and it's being shown in the way that he treats her. In your other bubble, though, where you're still with that guy, because mind you, there's a whole bunch of bubbles, there's a whole bunch of different versions of us out there, and none of them are, being impacted by the other. They're just all these different versions of us out there. In that other bubble, you changed your belief system, and that guy committed to you. He asked you to marry him, and he totally changed, because you then actually became that person that woman was, who he left you for in the other version of who you were. He became that person that you so wanted to be with or get treated, as a different kind of person. What I would say, just so you guys may have a better understanding about this too, and I hope that I explained it clearly enough, that everything starts with a thought. Our thoughts create our feelings, and then those feelings create beliefs, and then from those beliefs we show action, and we start to project out what's on the inside. So that's why even when you feel like people are treating you in a manner that you don't want to be treated, it's because you need to take the time to go inside of you and look at whatever belief system that you may be holding on to, even if it's in the smallest way, to change it so that you can get a different outcome. And you don't have to worry about what if, like, how does this like actually work in terms of him or the person not I don't really know if that really will apply. All I gotta say is, in your world, you create the versions of people based off of your belief system that you hold about yourself. And when something happens that you are not, some something comes up to you that you're just not so good about, you don't like it, you just go inside of your mind and imagine something different. But it has to be you changing you, because again, we get treated based off of our belief system about ourselves. It's like a dog. They always say that a dog can sense, or animals, period, can sense, especially dogs. They can sense when you're afraid of them or when you have some kind of fear, and they act upon it because it's something that is energetically pushed out. That's the same thing with the way that we get treated by people. It's an energy thing. Our energy goes out before our presence of who we are actually comes in, and that's the aura part of us. That surrounds us. And until that changes from our beliefs, we're only going to project out whatever is inside of us. So nothing really positive can be projected out of you when it comes to certain beliefs if you haven't changed them from within, in order for them to change, for you to see a different outcome. So that's what it is when you hear about how everyone is you pushed out. I really hope that I explained this right. But I'm just going to say also, so you understand the whole thing about the bubbles and the different worlds, and how we all have different versions of us living at this, simultaneously, but there's no interaction of any of them. Like, you don't have to worry about that. Just worry about the version of you in your bubble where you're at right now. Watch the movie Sliding Doors, starring Gwyneth Paltrow. This is an older movie. Let me see if I can actually show it to you. They do have it on YouTube. You can either rent the movie or buy the movie. I'm gonna show y'all, because I watched it, and just punch in Sliding Doors full movie. It should look like this. And this is the full version. Like, I don't even have to pay for that. Let me see. I don't think I would have to pay for it. Yeah, I don't even have to pay for it. Let me see if it continues to go. Hmm. Yeah, see? It's starting the movie. It's on YouTube, you guys. So you can go on there. And you know what? I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to try to figure out how to put that link for this movie in the description box so you guys can watch it. And when you get a chance to go back and watch this video again, so that you actually understand what I'm talking about in terms of the different worlds, and how you are one version of yourself in this world and another version of yourself in this world. They don't cross, okay? They're just operating at the same time, okay? So I really hope that this helped someone in terms of understanding what the whole self-concept is, and understanding how everyone is you pushed out, and learning how to change your belief system or your self-concept, okay? So until the next time, you guys have a good one.